Hey guys, Crystal here from Elite Hair Care USA. So today we are doing a retouch relaxer on my client here who just took her braids out about a week ago. So the reason I saw the importance of doing this video is because I know a lot of people like to get protective styles and then they stretch out their relaxers, that kind of thing. So this is more for informational purposes. So you guys will get to see the application of the relaxer. Let's see if I can get this. So we're going to go ahead and base her scalp. If I can get this base out, I can do the base, but I cannot. So I'm just going to put it on my hand here. Sorry, I'm getting some base. Hey, okay, so I have a little bit of base. She took the braids, you said a week ago, right? Mm-hmm. She took her braids out a week ago, which is good. Whenever you're going to get a relaxer after a protective style, you do want to ensure that you give your hair at least 3 or more days of rest before you actually do the relaxer. Reason being is, even if you're very, very careful and you don't disturb or irritate the scalp, just pulling the braids out is irritating the scalp. Yanking the scalp is considered irritating the scalp. So you just want to give your hair time to rest before you actually go through and get the relaxer service. And that will also help with the processing, because you do need to process. You haven't had a relaxer in a couple weeks, sometimes 8, 10, 12, 14 weeks, months, whatever it may be. And your hair has not, it needs that proper time. It needs time to actually allow that relaxer to process without irritation, okay? So what I'm doing right now is just basing her scalp. And then we're gonna do around her hairline, and then we'll do the actual application. So applying base around the hairline is very, very important as well. I know this is more like Cosmo School basics, but you'll be so surprised how many stylists do not base the hairline of their client, especially the ears and behind the ears. Okay, you want to protect those areas. You can easily touch those areas with relaxer without even trying. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and section the hair off. I still do 4 sections. Some stylists, I mean, when you're more seasoned, not everybody does 4 sections, but I still do 4 sections because I like to process the back first and then the front. So I'm not actually combing through the scalp. I'm just combing through the ends of the hair so I can easily get through it. Now I'm going to make a little change. I'm just going to leave the back into one section and go around. And she has about close to a little less than ½ an inch of new growth. So we're going to go ahead and apply our relaxer to that area. And then keep in mind, when you're doing a retouch relaxer, you shouldn't actually be extending the relaxer all the way through. That's another common mistake. This is why I tell people it is not good to relax your hair at home, because these are the things that you will miss, and then you'll wonder why your hair is shedding like crazy. And then I don't use a brush when I apply a relaxer. I try not to unless I'm doing it to a client where I'm doing like a full head or something of that sort, or a virgin relaxer. I like to use what we call a sprush or a spatula. It doesn't use a lot of product, and it also doesn't irritate the scalp when I'm applying relaxer. And then application is another thing. You want to make sure that your speed is everything. You want to apply the relaxer, process, rinse. Okay, so time is everything. So far that's what I've done. And then I usually will stretch the hair out slightly. And I always start in the most resistant area, which is usually right here in the crown. So when I'm doing a section, I'll usually start, especially in the back, I'll start right here and then work my way down versus starting in the weakest section and then work your way up. That's kind of backwards. The nape of the neck and the hairline will relax faster than anywhere else. So even when I put it at the nape, I barely touched it because I knew by the time I got to that area and applied the actual full amount that I needed, it will have basically just begun processing. Hi. So let's talk aftercare when you're relaxed or you have a relaxer. Usually within 2 to 3 weeks of getting the relaxer, you want to go back into your stylist to get your protein. For those of you who already have our reconstruction system at home and you do home care, then you definitely can do your protein just the same within that 2 to 3 week span, because you want to rebuild or strengthen those bonds that you broke during the relaxer process. So that's usually at week 2 to week 3. Okay. And then after that, because you're considered high porosity, you can alternate between strength and moisture. For me, I would use Hydra Strength with relaxed hair. It works a lot better and it's not so heavy. It doesn't make the hair very heavy. All right, so we're gonna start the next section. Now, a common mistake people make is they wanna go and do the hairline right away. That is the last place that I am going to touch. Okay, I am not gonna touch her hairline until I am done applying the relaxer on the remainder of this section. Why? Because the hairline is going to go bone straight within a matter of a minute or two. If you go and apply it to the hairline now, you're weakening that area even more than what it already is. It's already extremely fragile anyway. So that is the last section that I will touch, or last part of the head that I will touch on either section. Oh, that's somebody's kid. All right, so far I've been on live about 9 minutes. In that 9 minutes, we've already based her, already applied the back section, which is the back two. Application time also matters when you're doing a relaxer. A lot of people think that you can just take as much time as you want applying a relaxer on the hair and then rinse it out whenever it's just straight. And that's not actually how relaxers work. Number one, you shouldn't be overlapping. Number two, application time is a very important thing. It should not take you more then 5 to 7 minutes to apply a full head of relaxer. Okay, and this is once again a reason why I say you should not be relaxing at home, because most times people don't even pay attention to that little area on the instructions that says application time and then processing time. Vanessa, you have my YouTube? You got on my nerve. Can you go on my YouTube and read the comments? Thanks. Stop playing the little game. The fact that you had to whisper that is sad.
I'm not playing the game. Okay, so.
All right, so we just put it here, and then I'm going to do this little area here last. Guess I need it. So once again, I'm starting in the most resistant area, and then I'll work my way down. And in my partings, I'm taking about 1/4 inch partings. The parting size is going to differ based on each individual client. It goes by density. If I'm dealing with fine textured hair, I can actually do larger partings because the cuticle is closer together.
So how many times has it happened to you? The phone.
I said closer together. And the cuticle is actually flat. It's flatter. How you feel?
Good.
You guys will hear me ask, how you feeling, babe? How you feeling? How you feeling? Because the worst thing you can do is apply a relaxer to a client's head. You don't ask them any questions. So in a client's mind, everything is fine. Oh, I just want it to be bone straight. They will sit and allow 3rd-degree burns until you say, you ready? And they're sitting there like, I thought you'd never ask. Instead of just saying, hey, I'm on fire.
Nafisa, her son, good morning, Crystal. Hey, Michelle, I got my products Monday. So excited, she says.
Hey, thank you. Just read the ones that's an actual comment.
Is mommy amazing? Hey, how are you doing? My question is it true that you should never put a relaxer at the tips of your hair?
It's not that you should never put a relaxer at the tips. If you're not doing a virgin application, then you do not need to apply relaxer from root to end. You're only supposed to be relaxing the new growth. Like for her, some areas has more new growth than others, so I'm going to go out a little bit farther. But I'm not going to extend it to her ends. When I pull it through at the end of me basically processing the relaxer, at that point everything is already processed and I'm pulling it through just to get it through the root. But in this case, I'm not going to. I'm just going to use the spatula.
No, she's not making a video with Vanessa today.
Really? That's so sad. That is so sad.
You need videos. What's her name? Antila?
Mm-hmm.
How you say that? S-E? C? She said, will you make a video with Vanessa too? No.
No, Vanessa just got her protein treatment today. That's all we did on Vanessa.
She said that client is a treat. Yes.
Vanessa's all right, y'all. She okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and start processing. Let me get the first section out of the way here. Okay, and when I say processing, all I'm literally doing is going through using my spatula and smoothing it out. Put down for me. I'm not applying any more product unless I miss the spot. Typically I don't, but no one's perfect. And with this part, you got to be quick. Okay, and then you want to make sure you don't drag your tip through the actual client's scalp. You grab the tip, drag the tip of the spatula through the hair, so you don't make irritation or allow more irritation.
Desmee Ferris, she said she was always under the impression that if it didn't burn, it wasn't working.
Oh, no ma'am. Yes ma'am. If it burns, it can be burning and still not processed, and it can be burning and you be bald because it over processed. So it doesn't have to burn.
Ada Walker, what's the difference between Elite Silky Conditioner Shampoo and Conditioner Set and Moisture Elite Hydrating Conditioner and Shampoo?
We don't have Elite Silky, so that's not even, it's not an option on the site. If you're looking for like a moisturizer for natural hair, you'd use Moisture ELT. If you're looking for one for relaxed hair, Hydra Strength.
Let me speak to you. Said hello. Will you also give her a protein treatment following this application?
No, you're actually not supposed to do protein on the same day as a relaxer. You're supposed to wait. Now, if it's an emergency, say the hair starts falling out or something of that nature, possibly, but it's still not recommended to even do a protein on the same day.
Thias Godwin, my hair is so healthy and shiny now since I've started using your products and started following you. I have tons of body too. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Lynn Power, Pisces. How soon can you color your hair after relaxing?
If it's a semi-permanent color, you can do it the same day. Demis, you can also do the same day, but you kind of want to limit how often you do a demi color and a relaxer on the same day, because it does still swell the cuticle slightly, even though it's zero ammonia. It still can possibly swell that cuticle or open that cuticle. So I try to do more like a semi on the same day. I did discover a line that has an ammonia-free, peroxide-free demi. I've used that before on the same day. But if it's a semi-permanent, you can do it the same day. Those are deposit-only colors. So they don't actually open the cuticle.
Now the Butler, how often do I need protein treatment?
So protein treatments are a Band-Aid on the boo-boo. If you have a relaxer, you definitely want to make sure you do it on that 2 to 3 week span. And then after that, it's as needed. Same thing with natural hair.
And Monique Lassiter, some of the things I've learned in cosmetology school is what you're doing now. I've been doing this exact process for over 20 plus years.
Very nice.
Tatiana Sasser, I got my products and I love how my hair feels.
Thank you.
Kathy Good, do you do locks?
I used to, but I don't any longer. The only locks I'll do is Juni's, but no, I don't offer it as a service in the salon. All right, so we're gonna stop here, allow her hair to process. In the meantime, and when I say process, that doesn't mean she's gonna sit here for 10 minutes with relaxer on her head.
Child, when I put my perm in my hair, it starts to itch.
That means that sometimes it does itch. Come Vanessa. Sometimes, how you feel, Mama? Okay. Sometimes it does itch. Sometimes it doesn't itch. The itch doesn't mean that it's irritated, though.
Tasha Gilbert, I noticed my daughter hair fell out around her whole head. She's natural. And what products will I use for her?
That's something that I'd probably say you need to book a virtual consult for. We'll read the questions again in just a moment. Let me rinse out Vanessa. Vanessa got a protein treatment today using our Elite Super Reconstruction System. So I'm going to rinse her out, and then we're going to do part B of the protein system, which is to now add or rehydrate the hair. How you feel? Good? Okay. So she's already gotten part A, or part 1, step 1. So we're going to rinse this out really, really good. And then we'll apply part B and put a processing cap on it.
No color to it.
You okay?
I don't know, I did a perm last time.
You can color it today if you want. I'll color it today. You didn't get no bright color. You're getting your roots touched.
Say that again.
You can get your roots touched.
Okay.
After the hydration part of it.
Are you reading what they put?
You can hold it up to your face. Oh, you can get that. Well, I'm about to put the second part and then you can read them. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and now add part 2 to Vanessa's hair. So you guys got a good bang for your buck today. You get to see 2 different processes. So we're going to add part B, which is the replenisher conditioner for the protein. So we're going to rehydrate the hair, reintroduce moisture into the hair. Okay, put a processing cap on. And then Vanessa's going to go back under the dryer for 10 minutes. Go ahead, Mama. You can come to the shampoo bowl. All right, so my relaxer is fully processed. This is another place that people definitely get this part wrong. They think that relaxer needs to sit on the head for 7 hours to process. Absolutely not. Come on back for me.
Val Butler, she said, can I buy protein fluid treatment?
Yes, it's available on the website at EliteHairCareUSA.com. And if you use code ELITE15 or YouTube, you can save 15%.
Lolita Edwards, she said she want to know what's the order of doing conditioner and semi-color on the same day.
You'll condition first and then semi-permanent color after.
Robin Tender, she says, I'm natural because I know what I was doing wrong. I can't wait to rewatch this video.
Hey.
Lady T.
No, come back. Say that.
She said, good morning, Crystal. What kind of oil or heat protector do to use when hot combing the hair?
Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum. It's the Goddess Frizz Tamer and Shine Serum.
And Dr. Williams and Galamay 49, they both said good morning. Galamay is saying good morning from New Orleans.
Good morning.
Natasha Gill, how do I do the virtual consultation?
You'll go to EliteHairCareUSA.com. This is to book the virtual consult. Go to EliteHairCareUSA.com. You'll go to book. It has a menu option that says book. And then you'll go to consultations and weddings. And that is where you'll see virtual consultation. Okay, I'm going to pull you guys this way so I can get...
It's time for my relaxer, but I also have a perm color in my hair to cover the gray.
So you definitely need to go to a stylist because you can't overlap. That hair can start shedding really bad with that permanent color. Relaxer does not do well over permanent colors. Okay, you're supposed to relax first and then permanent color after. But when you're ready to do a retouch, that hair has to have some type of grow out or some type of new growth for you to be able to do a relaxer.
Half Gun Will Travel 39 said, I know you do not give perm advice on the channel, but thanks for sharing the process.
Thank you. No, I don't talk chemicals itself. I'm showing the process because a lot of people don't understand the process of a relaxer, and majority of the time people are doing things wrong. And they don't know that they're doing things wrong because they weren't told. So I'm showing it from the perspective of a stylist, but also from the perspective of a client.
Mimi says she loves your hair.
Thank you.
Jerry Mason says she received her products, and after doing my wash routine, all I can say, I am in awe. My hair is shiny and soft, and my tears are happiness. Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you.
Annette Price. Hi, Crystal. How long should you wait between washing your hair and relaxing?
You want to stick to the two-week schedule. For me, I do every week because I don't have a choice. But it's really more by what your hair needs. All right, so if you guys notice, I did rinse for quite some time because you want to make sure that the hair is not slimy in any way. If you feel any sort of slime or any sort of slip, then you have not rinsed all of that relaxer out. If you smell it, it is not rinsed out. So you want to make sure that you are doing your due diligence to make sure that that relaxer is rinsed thoroughly. Okay.
Rufita Ali, she say, are you an artist in hair repair? Is this chemist safe for the scalp?
I don't know that question. I don't even understand what the question said. Next question.
And Kevin Cave, anybody here? Yeah.
Next.
Persida Lesma, she is Spanish, I don't know that. Maluda Edwards, I appreciate you and love your products. Gernetta Mitchell, Gernetta, what is the difference between relaxer and a texturized treatment?
A relaxer makes the hair straight. A texturizer does just that. It leaves texture in the hair. Sit up for a moment.
She said, also, can you use a texturized treatment after you have a relaxer?
No, you can't do a texturizer after you have a relaxer. You've already passed the texturizer. Okay, so if you guys notice, her hair is straight. Okay, her hairline is straight. She still has some texture to her hair. When you are doing a relaxer, okay, and I'm going back to the cosmetology book here. Relaxers are not supposed to be bone butt straight. They are actually, your hair is supposed to have what we call an S pattern. Okay, it's still supposed to have a little bit of texture, very small amount, but it's still straight. Where people go wrong is they want the hair to be bone straight, and then they overlap. This is another reason why I did not allow her to process for a very long time, because it is not required. She does not need to process for 12 minutes, 15 minutes. Oh, I want it to be bone straight. No. For her hair, we do want to make sure that she still has that S pattern, but the hair is straight. So if you notice, the hair is straight. We did not process for 30 minutes. Between application time and actual rinse time, we had no more than 10 to 12 minutes maximum.
Exposita would like to know the unique control edge tamer. It's just to grow it and hold your hairline. She said when black back is when
will it be back in stock? Later this week. It will be back in stock later this week.
Monica Bowles, when I use the Alpha-G protein system, I come off under the dryer with hard hair. Your client didn't appear to have hard and dry hair after the dryer. What makes your protein system different?
I mean, the chemical makeup, every company is different. Everybody is going to make it in a different way. Mine has a little bit more, let me say this without exposing my okay. How I had it made, I wanted it to be more of a froth, but a protein treatment at the same time. I didn't want it to make the hair rock hard, but it's still doing what it needs to do by helping to make those bonds a lot stronger. Some companies, they use different makeups. Everybody's going to be different. There's the reason why there's 8,000 shampoos, there's 8,000 conditioners, right? And then, in regards to our system, our replenisher is another one that is going to soften the hair anyway. What I did notice with other lines, and I don't even need to talk about which line, what line, they do make the hair extremely hard, and then the conditioner does not rehydrate the hair. So what I'm thinking is sometimes companies will skip out and they will make one part of the process very, very, very good. And then the backup part of the process that's supposed to aid the first part is not so good, requiring you to now buy more product, if that makes sense. The way our system was created, we created it to ensure that you didn't need to go and buy 13 other products to be able to get one result. I wanted everything to be able to be done between part A and part B, and you are good. Part A is going to strengthen the hair, it's going to help rebuild the hair. Part B, which is the replenisher, is going to hydrate the hair, soften the hair, and detangle the hair. And it has enough slip that you'll be able to detangle and soften that hair without having to use 2 more conditioners on top of that. So I hope that answered your question.
Ada Walker, she said, I brought the Moisture Heat shampoo and conditioner. I do see a difference. I want to buy everything I need for low
porosity
processed hair.
So if you got the Moisture ELT system, that's a good system. The kits will be available as of next week, so you'll be able to get kits again next week. We just wanted to catch up from the actual 50% off sale that we had. So we're down to about 80 orders remaining, which is awesome because we had over hundreds. We were in the hundreds. So once we catch up on those, which those will be out by the end of this week, then we'll put the kits back on. But the Moisture ELT kit is great for low porosity hair. Absolutely.
Tawana Brooklyn, she said my hair's coming out after I took my braids out. I left them in for 2 months, and now my hair is shedding like crazy. I did wash and condition it twice, plus a leave-in conditioner.
Okay, so let me explain to you guys how these babies work, these protective styles here. So naturally the hair sheds 50 to 100 hairs in a day. Okay? Naturally the hair sheds 50 to 100 hairs a day. How many days is it in a month? There's 30 in one and 31 in the other, right? So that's 61 days that you were supposed to shed 50 to 100 hairs. Can you, what's that? 61 times, okay, we'll just do 100. So you were supposed to naturally go through the growth cycle and shed between 3,000 and 6,100 pieces of hair within that 61-day period. Okay, so the growth cycle goes, it grows in, grows out, falls out, grows in, grows out, falls out. So it's growing at it's doing this at such a fast rate that you don't see it. Okay, you've had your hair up for 8 weeks, so you have had no shedding whatsoever for 8 weeks, 2 months, 61 days to the day. You are going to have a good amount of shedding because the hair has not been able to do what it was supposed to do naturally for 61 days. So imagine for those who like to keep these same styles in for 4 months, which is nasty, by the way, 5 months, that's just dirty, okay? And 6 months, you need to just cut your hair off because that was just nasty, right? But people do this, and then they wonder why by the time they remove this hair, they wonder why they have bales of hair of this size, of a basketball. You haven't been able to actually shed. You haven't been able to allow the body to rid itself of what it's supposed to naturally. All right, so we're going to go ahead and rinse my client here. Go ahead, Vanessa, you can read those.
Good morning. Miss Mommy Amazing. Can hair be washed first and then relax and leave it after?
I've seen, lean forward from me. I've seen people rinse the hair off gently, yes. Do I do that? Only if my client has a lot of gel or the hair is too hard for me to be able to get through it to do the actual relaxer. But I try my hardest not to do that.
Tawana Brooklyn would like to know, have you shipped her merchandise yet?
I don't know, Tawana. This is not the place to ask that question. Next question.
Have guns or travel? Okay, here we go. Esposito said thank you. Angela Jones, did you wait 2 weeks before doing a retouch after braids?
Can you do what?
She said, did you wait 2 weeks before doing a retouch after braids?
When did you do yours? A week?
A week.
It was a week ago that she took hers out. So I'm going to start normalizing. So what is a neutralizer? What is a normalizer? Neutralizers and normalizers basically bring the hair back down to its normal pH. When you are doing a relaxer, relaxers, of course, are highly acidic. So they are going to take the hair all the way up. And then the job of a neutralizer or normalizing shampoo is to bring the hair back down to a healthy pH level. So if you know the pH scale, then you'd understand what I'm talking about. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Ashley Cosmetologist, she said a lot of stylists miss the nape of the neck, which is a very important to rinse, so she won't have breakage.
Correct. Come back to me.
Stephanie Blackman, good morning. Keisha Mary, I use edge control in my hair every day, which I love yours. It keeps my hair in place all day and does not revert back. Is it bad to wash your hair every week? I am African American.
I wash my hair every week, but it's not because I want to, but because I sweat a lot. So it just depends on why you're doing it every week.
Robertine hello. Bernetta Mitchell. One side of my hair grows faster than the other side of my hair. Not sure why. I did a protein treatment and my hair feels great. How can I get my hair to grow even?
you'll need to cut the other side. But honestly, it depends on what you're doing to your hair. Sometimes you overdo or you do more to one side than the other, so that side is going to be the more compromised. But it's common for hair to grow that way. Hair is not going to grow even all over. That's not how it works.
Renee said good morning. She's so excited she received her. I don't know what that is. Porosity test after you wash your hair or before it does.
You do it when the hair is clean and dry. When you do a porosity test, the hair needs to be clean and dry. So you want to make sure when you're rinsing that you get these areas behind the ears, because this is a hidden area, and also right on the occipital bone and under the occipital bone. That is another hidden area.
Angela Jones, or any plans if you come to Houston, I love your techniques.
Not at this particular moment. Dallas is on the schedule. So back for me.
Carolyn Shepherd, she says good morning from Northern California, Bay Area. Stephanie Blackman, I don't use perm in my hair.
Great for you.
Delina.
Oh, and hold on 1 second, Vanessa. I'll be in Atlanta this week, so I do have 2 appointments remaining for the Atlanta. If you'd like to book an Atlanta appointment, you click the link down in the description box, and it'll take you to the appointment booking site. Go ahead, Vanessa.
Delina A.L. After the relaxer, what product did you put in your client's hair before the shampoo, and what does it do?
So this particular system does condition first. So it conditions first, and then it normalizes or neutralizes. Why this system does it that way, which I love the fact that it does it that way, the cuticle is already wide open with the relaxer already. So when you put conditioner on a cuticle that's already open, it's going to soak in the conditioner, right? And then you go and normalize it to close the cuticle. Whereas traditional relaxers that are made by most companies now require you to neutralize first or normalize first, and then go back and put the conditioner on, put a processing cap on the client, put them under the dryer to reopen the cuticle, to then go back and close the cuticle again. Where this is the reason why I like this particular one, where it does it backwards. It does it the opposite way. So what I'm using right now on her hair is just a detangling conditioner, a softening conditioner. After a relaxer, not all of the relaxer neutralizers or normalizers or conditioners soften the hair that much. So I like to go back through at the end and just go through with a nice comb out conditioner. This is just a detangler. And then I'll rinse the hair with cool water. Come on back to me. It's going to be cool.
She says her hair grows uneven also.
Everyone's hair grows uneven, guys. We're never going to be all one uniform person with hair. We're never that perfect.
Baby Gina wants to know when you come to New York City.
I was in New York in January, so it probably won't be until sometime at the end of the year.
God's music says greetings from New York. How can I schedule an appointment with you?
If you want to schedule an Orlando appointment or one of my other locations, the link is in the description box.
Have done Will Travel 39 said, is bone straight relaxer safe?
No, it's not. Technically, the hair should still have a little bit of kink to it. Come on.
Vanessa Nancy 64, Nancy 64, where can I sign up for a Dallas appointment?
Dallas appointments won't open until 30 days before the actual pop-up.
Tashika Sanders, I relaxed and cut my hair last week after taking out my braids. I must say that I did a great job for me cutting my hair.
Oh, great for you, dear.
Lawyer Rooms, Morning Crystal from Toronto, Canada. I received my protein treatment system and my hydration shampoo and conditioner. I use the edge control. Wow.
Thank you. So I'm spraying a little bit of our hydration and strength leave-in spray on her hair, even after a relaxer. You still want to do your leave-in conditioner. And then I'm going to go ahead and part her hair out so she can go under the dryer and air dry. I do not blow dry hair when it is wet like this. The hair is actually in the most volatile state when it's wet. So I like to air dry the hair first, and then I'll finish out blow drying after. Now, hold on one second. One thing that you can do for those of you who like that hairline to be real sleek, I'll take a little bit of our Elite Silk Wrap Foam and I'll just put it right at the hairline. That tames those flyaways and gets them in order. The green one, yeah.
Tashika Sanders would like to know, are you coming to Ohio anytime soon?
All of the dates that I have are listed in the description box. Hey, how are you, dear?
Real good.
You can just sit right there for 1 second. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and take this off. She's gonna go under the dryer for about 20 to 30 minutes to allow time for air drying. Vanessa, you can go too.
Monica Bowles, she says your protein system a two-step also.
It is.
I saw your protein video and you pre-moisturize before the protein treatment. So what type of conditioner do you use before the protein treatment?
You don't use a conditioner before if you don't need to. You can use the Moisture ELT if needed, but it's not required. It's more required that you use a hydration or moisture shampoo. All right, so Vanessa's gonna come on over. Up a little. Okay, so we did put the Replenish conditioner on her hair. If you guys notice, I did not detangle her before, and I'm easily able to comb through the hair, which that's the good thing about the Replenish. Replenish allows me to be able to detangle, hydrate, and all of that with that one step instead of me having to use multiple shampoos and conditioners to do that. Okay, come on back. So we're gonna rinse her with cool water, because this is the last condition. And then we're gonna put her color on. And then I'm gonna cut the live because they actually have to dry anyway. And Vanessa has to process with her color. But you guys got to basically see the process to see, you know, the proper way of relaxing, some aftercare tips, while relaxing tips, and then also the protein treatment, which is what my client that just got the relaxer will get in 2 to 3 weeks. And then as I was saying, all of the products that I mentioned or that I referred to, excluding the relaxer system, can be found by going to EliteHairCareUSA.com and use code YouTube to save 15% off. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and towel dry Vanessa's hair. Sit up for me. You can go all the way up and then sit back. Because she's going to get a root color. So Vanessa is one of those cases where I do not color and relax on the same day because I'm using a demi on her. And we've discovered that her hair does not do well when we try to relax and color in the same day. So that's why I said every person is going to be different. I'm going to go ahead and mix up some color.
So Juana Brooklyn, she wants to know what should I do about my hair shedding after I took the braids out. I want to do braids again, but how long should I wait? And what?
I didn't have no ice in this cups.
Tawana Brooklyn, she said, what should I do about my hair shedding after I took my braids out? And I want to do braids again. How long should I wait? And what should I do in the meantime?
You probably need to get a protein treatment, which will more than likely help. But I'd say if it's that bad, you need to go and get a stylist opinion.
Adventurous Spirit, she said, will any of your products cause buildup in locked hair?
It depends on what you're using them for.
And Charlotte Goldman, I have 4C natural hair and I wear protective styles often with a few weeks off in the middle. What products can I use for my edge and to help my hair get thicker? I've started trimming my ends.
The edge repair kit will work for the hairline. And then for the hair itself, I do the Goddess Serum and the Hair Repair and Growth Shampoo and Conditioner. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and apply Vanessa's color. This color is ammonia and peroxide free. But it's not a rinse, it's a demi. So I'm going to do her hairline first because that's where her hair is the most stubborn. And that's where you want to definitely saturate really, really good. And for clients who have stubborn gray, I like to use demis because they allow for a creamier consistency and it sits on the hair better. Okay, you can read them.
Tashika Sanders, I can tell what she wrote. Can you tell me how to stop the shedding? I have length, but it won't stop shedding.
You probably need to go get an evaluation by a stylist.
And she said she don't take any meds.
You probably need to go and get evaluation by a stylist.
Shirley Williams says, hi everyone, thank you. Thank you for the information.
Welcome.
Miss Mommy Amazing said, great video. Cheryl Lee, isn't some shedding normal?
Shedding is normal. Now, the degree of shedding is not. If it's like a large amount every single day, that's not good. There's something else going on or something that you did.
And Ada Walker says she's glad that you explained about losing your hair after a protective style because I was really worried that wasn't normal.
Oh, it's normal. It's normal. Now, do we agree? No. Do we want it to happen? No.
Marilyn Willis, she said, I've been using edge repair for my hairline. Should I use it at night or in the daytime?
I'm a firm believer of using like products for healing of an area at night because that's when the body's at rest. During the day, you're moving, you're perspiring, you know, so I feel like the life of the product is going to be diminished really, really quickly, whereas at night, you're resting, so you're not even messing with it, you're asleep.
V. Jones says, does the demi have PPD in it? Because I'm allergic to PPD.
With this particular line, no, but some do. A lot of people are allergic to PPD though. That's mainly the reason why some people have to use semi-permanent colors.
Angela Jones says, Crystal, you're amazing. I know what I should do. What should be done to my hair because of your informative videos.
Oh, thank you.
Dawn McCombs, what is the best way to clean natural blown out hair after exercising to get the salt
Wash
off
it.
the scalp?
There's no other way of cleaning it other than washing it. Not even dry shampoo is going to help you. You still have to rinse that salt out.
Leona offered. Hi, my name is Leona. I have gotten several products from you for thinning crown. What is the best products in your line of products? I got all except from Silky product line.
Then you have everything you need.
Baby Gina said, what is a demi color?
Demi color. Okay, so there's permanent, there's demi, and there's semi. Okay? Semi-colors are deposit only. Demi-colors deposit with a very small percentage of lift or swelling of the cuticle. And then of course permanent actually opens the cuticle fully, and they last a lot longer. Demis are made to also last a little bit longer, and semis are very temporary. They're temporary colors straight from the tube onto the hair. Demis require a part A and a part B for them to work.
And Karen Harris, she said, help, my hair is fine. How can I get it thicker?
So that's going to be a question for Q&A. A lot of the questions that are require a specific answer, Q&A.
Jennifer Smith, hiya. What is the best black dye to use?
There's so many out there, baby. You just gotta play with them. What I might like, you might not like.
Julie Wilkins says she appreciate you because you take the time to explain to the client and viewers.
Thank you.
Marquita Childs, she say, is Dr. Miracle hair treatment, is it good?
I would not know, babe. I've never used it. I don't use a lot of the stuff in the stores. I've always just used what I bought as a professional because it's a big difference in quality. It's no different from over-the-counter versus prescription.
And T. Lomax would like to know what colors are great for gray coverage.
The color that I like is Bigen, B-I-G-E-N, but it comes in the bottle. It's a semi-permanent, not the permanent. But not everybody likes that color. Not everybody likes the undertone, so that's something you have to pay attention to as well. Alright, so we're almost done with the application on Vanessa.
Marilyn Wills, she said, I dyed my hair black and it's coming back reddish. Why did it come back red?
That sounds like the undertone. So if you're dyeing gray hair and it has that red undertone, which that sometimes happens, then you probably need to change the line you're using and have a better base color. Typically with gray, most times it's like ash or violet. I like violet based colors. I try to stay away from ash, but sometimes you can't. Now with the red, if you use henna will also do red as well. Tilt back for me. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys a little trick for those who are covering their gray in the front and you notice that the hair is sitting off of the actual color. If the hair is sitting off of the color, it is not going to pick up the full pigment of that color because it's not actually touching. So what I do is I take a little bit of cling wrap or biodegradable film. This is actually made for hair colorists. It's a biodegradable zero cling film, but you can also use plastic wrap. It doesn't really matter. I take this and I'll literally press it onto the hairline. So it will basically allow that hair at the hairline to come in contact with the actual color. You notice I didn't wrap the whole head because it does still need oxygen so it can oxidize. But this is a good way to get that color to really sit on those stubborn grays that sit at the temple and on the actual hairline itself. So back for me. So that's just a little trick. If you don't have biodegradable cling, you can use cling wrap. You can use a plastic bag. It just needs to be a plastic that has it's still open on the outside so that everything else will still be able to process. I don't do this with permanent color though. All right, guys. So we are going to conclude today's live. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I have to go. Actually, I have other times waiting. And you guys will be sitting for a long time trying to wait for this color to process for 35 minutes. So I'm not going to leave you guys on live. But as I said, if you're in the Atlanta area, I do still have 2 appointments remaining for this Friday. The link to actually book the appointment is in the description box down below. Also, for those of you that I recommended product to, you can save 15% off your purchase by using code YouTube and going to elitehaircareusa.com. Cool. All right, everybody, have an amazing day.